Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Love is a beautiful thing, but it should never come at the cost of your peace, your self-respect, or your sanity. Too many people waste years of their lives giving chance after chance to someone who has already shown them who they truly are. And let me be clear, there are certain lines that, once crossed, should never be forgiven. People often hold on to relationships hoping that their partner will change, that things will somehow be different if they just wait a little longer, love a little harder, or forgive just one more time. But let's be real. If someone keeps making the same mistakes over and over again, they are not sorry. They are not trying to do better. They are showing you exactly who they are, and it is up to you to believe them. Too many people fall into this trap, thinking that because they love someone, they have to endure the pain that person puts them through. They tell themselves that relationships take work, that nobody's perfect, that everyone makes mistakes. And while that may be true, there is a difference between someone who makes an honest mistake and someone who continuously chooses to hurt you in the same way time and time again. A mistake is something that happens once, maybe even twice, but when it becomes a pattern, when the same behavior keeps happening, despite your tears, despite your conversations, despite the chances you've given them, it is no longer a mistake. It is a decision. Think about how many times you've been in this situation. You catch them in a lie and they swear it won't happen again. You believe them, you forgive them. And then what happens? A few weeks later, a few months later, you find out they lied again. You tell yourself that maybe they just didn't know any better the first time, that maybe they needed to learn a lesson. But if they truly cared, if they truly understood the pain they caused you, would they really make you go through it all over again? This isn't about holding a grudge or refusing to forgive people. It's about recognizing when someone is taking your kindness for granted. Because every time you forgive the same mistake, every time you let it slide, you are teaching them that they can get away with it. You are showing them that their words matter more than their actions, that they don't have to truly change. They just have to say the right thing in the moment to keep you from leaving. People don't change unless they want to. And if they wanted to change, they wouldn't keep hurting you in the same way. You wouldn't have to keep reminding them, keep pleading with them, keep explaining why what they did was wrong. A person who truly cares about you will take responsibility for their actions the first time. They won't wait until they've hurt you 5, 6, 10 times before deciding to finally do better. You might think that if you just give it a little more time, they'll mature, they'll grow, they'll wake up one day and realize what they have. But the truth is, the longer you stay, the more they believe you will never leave. The longer you tolerate their mistakes, the less incentive they have to correct them. Because why should they change when they know you will always forgive them? This is how people end up trapped in toxic relationships for years. Start small. A little lie, a broken promise, a small betrayal. You get upset, but you don't want to lose them, so you let it go. Then it happens again and again. And before you know it, you're standing in the same spot you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, wondering how you let yourself get here. You start to question yourself. Wonder if you're overreacting, if maybe you're asking for too much. But deep down, you know the truth. You know you're not crazy. You know you deserve better. You're just afraid to walk away. But let me tell you something. Staying with someone who keeps making the same mistakes will never give you the happiness you're looking for. You will never feel secure, never feel truly loved, never feel like a priority, because if they cared enough, they would have changed by now. If they valued you the way you value them, they would have made an effort to fix the things that keep breaking you. Love is not about endurance. It is not about suffering for the sake of holding on to a relationship. It is about mutual respect, about growth, about choosing each other every single day, not just when it's convenient. You are not asking for too much. when you expect loyalty, honesty, and respect. You are not being unreasonable when you decide that you are done giving second chances to someone who has already used up every opportunity you've given them. People who love you should not require repeated lessons on how to treat you right. They should not need endless reminders about how to respect your boundaries, your emotions, your trust. And if they do, then they are not ready to be in a relationship with you or anyone else. The hardest part about leaving someone who keeps making the same mistakes is accepting that they are never going to be the person you hope they would be. That version of them you have in your head, the one who finally understands, who finally grows up, who finally realizes what they have before it's too late, that person does not exist. You are holding on to a fantasy, a possibility that will never become reality. Because if they were capable of being that person, they already would be. They would have stopped making excuses. They would have listened to you the first time. They would have done the work to make sure they never put you in a position to doubt them again. It is not your job to fix someone who refuses to fix themselves. It is not your responsibility to teach someone how to love you when they continue to show that they don't care enough to learn. Love is not meant to feel like a battle, a struggle, a never-ending cycle of heartbreak and disappointment. Real love does not require you to constantly lower your standards, to keep ignoring your gut, to keep giving one last chance that turns into 100 more. If someone keeps making the same mistakes, they are telling you that they do not value you enough to change. And if they do not value you, then you need to value yourself enough to walk away. Because the longer you stay, the more you are teaching them that their behavior is acceptable. The more you tolerate, the more they will continue to push the limits of what they can get away with. And before you know it, you will be so lost in their manipulation, their apologies, their broken promises, that you won't even recognize yourself anymore. So let me say this loud and clear. If they keep making the same mistakes, they will not change. Not for you, not for anyone. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can free yourself from a love that was never meant to last. The sooner you can stop wasting your time on someone who does not deserve you, the sooner you can start healing, start rediscovering who you are outside of the pain they have caused you. You deserve someone who learns from their mistakes the first time. Someone who takes accountability, who respects your boundaries, who sees your worth without needing to be reminded. You deserve a love that does not make you question whether you are enough. And you will never find that love if you keep holding on to someone who refuses to change. Love has a strange way of making people see what they want to see instead of what is actually in front of them. It makes you hold on when you should let go. It makes you rationalize behavior that you would never tolerate in anyone else. When you love someone, you want to believe the best in them. You want to believe that their mistakes are just that, mistakes. You tell yourself they didn't mean to hurt you, that they didn't know any better, that if they truly understood how their actions affected you, they would do better. And so you make excuses. You convince yourself that their past, their upbringing, their stress, their insecurities, or their own pain is the reason why they treat you the way they do. You tell yourself that if you are just patient enough, if you love them enough, if you just hold on a little longer, they will change. But here's the truth. People do what they want to do. No one is too busy to text back. No one is too hurt to treat you with respect. No one is too damaged to be honest with you. If someone is hurting you, if someone is disrespecting you, if someone is lying to you over and over again, it's not because they don't know better. It is because they don't care enough to do better. And every excuse you make for them only gives them permission to continue. You tell yourself they just had a bad day, that they didn't mean to say those hurtful words, that they were just angry, that they were drunk, that they didn't realize what they were doing. But how many bad days, how many angry moments, how many careless actions do you have to endure before you realize this is not a one-time thing? This is who they are. They have already shown you. And every time you excuse their behavior, you are showing them that you will put up with it. It is easier to make excuses than to accept that someone you love is not good for you. Because if you admit the truth, you have to do something about it. You have to walk away. You have to start over. You have to let go of all the time, all the energy, all the love you have invested. And that is terrifying But what's even more terrifying is spending years of your life waiting for someone to become the person you need them to be, only to realize they never will. At some point, you have to stop justifying their actions and start asking yourself why you are still there. Why are you putting yourself through this? Why are you allowing yourself to be treated this way? If you are constantly feeling hurt, anxious, insecure, or unappreciated, then the relationship is not serving you. It is draining you. It is taking more from you than it is giving. And no amount of love, no amount of excuses will ever change that. Love is not supposed to feel like suffering. It is not supposed to feel like walking on eggshells, wondering when the next argument will be, when the next disappointment will come, when the next lie will surface. If you find yourself constantly questioning whether they really love you, constantly trying to prove your worth, constantly hoping that tomorrow will be better than today, then you are not in a healthy relationship. You are in a painful cycle that will never end unless you decide to end it. You do not owe anyone unlimited chances. You do not have to keep forgiving the same mistakes. You do not have to keep lowering your standards just to keep someone in your life. The right person will not require you to suffer in order to be loved. The right person will not make you feel like love is a battle you have to fight for every single day. So why are you staying? Why are you holding on to something that brings you more pain than happiness? Why are you waiting for someone to change when you already know deep down that they won't? You deserve better. And better will not come until you make space for it. Walking away is hard. It is painful. It is heartbreaking. But do you know what is even more painful? Staying in a relationship that slowly destroys you. Waking up every morning with the same empty feeling in your chest, knowing that no matter how much you love them, you will never be enough to make them treat you the way you deserve. Going to bed every night feeling unappreciated, unheard, unseen, holding on to hope that deep down you know is false. It is not your job to fix someone who does not want to be fixed. It is not your responsibility to teach someone how to love you when they have already shown you that they do not care enough to learn. Love should not feel like constantly proving yourself, constantly waiting, constantly wondering if today will be the day they finally treat you right. Love should feel safe. Love should feel like home. Love should feel like peace. If your relationship brings you more sadness than joy, if it makes you doubt yourself more than it makes you feel confident, if it takes more than it gives, then it is not the love you deserve. Staying will not change them. Staying will not fix what is broken. Staying will only prolong the pain, the heartbreak, the inevitable moment when you realize you should have left a long time ago. You are not weak for walking away. You are not selfish for choosing your own happiness. You are not a failure because the relationship did not work out. You are brave for recognizing that you deserve more. You are strong for choosing yourself when someone else refused to. You are worthy of a love that does not make you beg, that does not make you hurt, that does not make you question whether you are enough. The moment you decide that you are done making excuses, that you are done settling for pain, that you are done hoping for someone to change when they have shown you time and time again that they will not, is the moment you take your power back. It is the moment you start to heal. It is the moment you open yourself up to the possibility of something greater, something real, something that does not require you to lose yourself in order to keep it. No one is worth sacrificing your peace. No one is worth breaking your own heart over and over again just because you are too afraid to let go. The longer you stay, the more you will lose yourself. And one day you will wake up and realize that you have spent years loving someone who never truly loved you back. Do not wait for that day. Do not wait for more pain, more disappointment, more heartbreak. You already know the truth. You already know what you need to do. The only thing left is to find the strength to do it. And when you finally walk away, when you finally choose yourself, when you finally stop settling for less than you deserve, you will realize that the love you were waiting for was never going to come from them. It was always meant to come from you. Love is supposed to be one of the most beautiful experiences in life, but too many people mistake suffering for love. They give and give until there's nothing left of themselves, thinking that if they just try a little harder, if they just endure a little longer, the love they crave will finally be returned to them. But love should never come at the cost of self-respect. The moment you have to compromise who you are, the moment you have to shrink yourself, accept mistreatment, or tolerate behavior that goes against your values just to keep someone in your life, you are no longer in love, you are in self-destruction. No relationship, no matter how deep, should ever require you to abandon yourself. If you have to beg for attention, if you have to constantly prove your worth, if you have to tolerate disrespect just to keep the peace, then the relationship is not serving you. Love should build you up, not tear you down. It should empower you, not make you feel small. If being with someone requires you to sacrifice your dignity, your self-worth, or your happiness, then that is not love. That is emotional imprisonment. People stay in these situations because they convince themselves that love is supposed to be difficult. They tell themselves that every relationship has struggles, that every couple fights, that perfection does not exist. And while it's true that relationships require effort, there is a difference between working through challenges together and losing yourself in the process. If someone constantly disrespects you, lies to you, or makes you feel less than, that is not a challenge to work through. It is a sign that you are in the wrong relationship. No amount of love justifies being treated poorly. No amount of history, passion, or promises should keep you bound to a person who continuously makes you question your worth. Real love does not make you feel like you are hard to love. It does not leave you wondering whether you are enough. It does not make you overanalyze every conversation, every action, every silence, hoping to find proof that you still matter to them. True love is clear. It is consistent. It does not leave room for doubt because the right person will make sure you never have to question their intentions, their loyalty, or their feelings. They will make you feel valued, appreciated, and cherished, not because you demand it, but because they genuinely want to make you feel that way. If someone makes you feel like an option, if they treat you like you are disposable, if they act as if you should be grateful just to have them in your life, then they are not the person for you. Love should not feel like a guessing game. It should not leave you constantly seeking reassurance, wondering where you stand, or feeling like you have to fight for their affection. If you are always the one chasing, always the one apologizing, always the one compromising, then you are not in a loving relationship. You are in an emotionally draining situation that is keeping you from the love you truly deserve. No one in this world is worth more than your peace of mind. No relationship is worth the loss of your self-esteem. It does not matter how much you love them, how much time you have invested, or how deeply you wish things could be different. If being with someone makes you question your own value, then you need to let them go. Because the truth is, the way someone treats you is a reflection of how they feel about you. And if they loved you the way you love them, you would not have to constantly fight to be seen, to be heard, to be respected. Many people hold on to the wrong relationships because they are afraid of being alone. They convince themselves that having someone, even someone who mistreats them, is better than having no one at all. But being alone is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing is being in a relationship that makes you feel lonely, that makes you doubt yourself, that makes you lose sight of who you are just to fit into someone else's version of love. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. The way you allow others to treat you is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you truly loved yourself, if you truly believed in your worth, you would never accept less than you deserve. You would never tolerate someone who makes you feel small, unimportant, or unworthy. You would recognize that love is not about endurance, that it is not about proving yourself, that it is not about changing who you are just to be accepted. Loving yourself means setting boundaries. It means walking away from situations that make you feel less than. It means refusing to settle for half-hearted love, for inconsistent affection, for empty promises. It means understanding that you deserve a love that does not require you to beg, to suffer, or to constantly question your own value. It is not selfish to choose yourself. It is not wrong to walk away from people who do not appreciate you. The people who are meant for you will never put you in a position where you have to compromise your self-worth just to keep them around. The right person will love you for who you are, not for who they want you to be. They will uplift you, support you, and make you feel like you are more than enough, not because you fought for their love, but because they see your value without you having to prove it. Too many people waste years trying to earn love from the wrong person. They invest their time, their energy, their hearts into someone who has already shown them they are not capable of giving them what they need. They think that if they hold on just a little longer, if they love a little harder, if they prove themselves just a little more, then maybe, just maybe, things will change. But love is not something you should have to prove. It is not something you should have to fight for. If someone truly loves you, you will know it not because of their words, but because of their actions. The day you realize that self-love is the foundation of every other relationship in your life is the day you stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. When you love yourself fully, when you know your worth, you do not chase people who make you feel unworthy. You do not cling to relationships that bring more pain than happiness. You do not waste your time on someone who cannot see the beauty, the strength, and the value in you. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much when you expect loyalty, honesty, and respect. The right person will not make you feel guilty for wanting the bare minimum. They will not make you feel like you have to change yourself just to be worthy of their love. The moment you stop looking for love in places that continue to break you is the moment you start finding real love, the kind that does not make you question, that does not make you beg, that does not make you suffer just to be seen. And when you finally realize that the most important love you will ever have is the love you give to yourself, you will never settle for anything less than what you deserve again. Love is one of the most powerful forces in the world, but it can also be one of the most damaging if it is placed in the wrong hands. Too many people fall into the trap of believing that love means sacrificing everything, including their own self-respect. They think that if they endure the hardships, if they prove their loyalty, if they just hold on through the pain, then eventually they will be rewarded with the love they deserve. But love should never come at the cost of self-respect. The moment you have to beg for basic decency, the moment you have to tolerate repeated disrespect, the moment you have to justify someone's hurtful actions, you are no longer in love. You are in a situation that is breaking you down. Respect is the foundation of any real relationship. Without it, there is nothing. If someone speaks to you in a way that diminishes your worth, if they dismiss your feelings, if they make you feel like your needs do not matter, then they do not love you in the way you deserve to be loved. Love does not make excuses for bad behavior. It does not require you to endure mistreatment just to prove that you are worthy. If someone truly loves you, they will never put you in a position where you have to question your own value. They will never make you feel like you have to fight to be seen, to be heard, to be respected. True love is not confusing. It does not leave you wondering where you stand. It does not make you overthink every text, every call, every silence. If someone is making you feel like you are hard to love, if they are making you question whether you are enough, if they are making you feel like you have to earn their attention, then they are not the right person for you. Love should be clear. It should be consistent. It should feel like security, not uncertainty. If you are always left second guessing, if you are constantly waiting for validation, if you are putting in all the effort while they do the bare minimum, then that is not love. It is emotional manipulation. People often hold on to toxic relationships because they believe they can change the other person. They think that if they love them enough, if they are patient enough, if they endure enough, then eventually their partner will see their worth and treat them right. But you cannot change someone who does not want to change. You cannot make someone love you the way you deserve if they are not willing to. If someone values you, you will know it, and if they do not, you will constantly feel like you have to prove yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. If you do not love yourself, if you do not believe in your own worth, then you will continue to accept less than what you deserve. You will continue to tolerate behavior that you should have walked away from. You will continue to make excuses for someone who has already shown you that they do not truly care. Self-love is not just about feeling good about yourself. It is about setting standards, creating boundaries, and refusing to let anyone treat you in a way that does not align with your worth. Loving yourself means recognizing when someone is taking advantage of you. It means walking away from situations that do not bring you peace. It means understanding that you do not have to suffer to prove your love. Too many people mistake struggle for love. They believe that if they endure enough pain, if they sacrifice enough of themselves, if they prove their loyalty through hardship, then they will finally be rewarded with happiness. But real love does not require suffering. It does not demand that you put yourself last. It does not make you feel like you are constantly chasing something that is just out of reach. If someone truly values you, they will never put you in a position to beg for love. They will not ignore your needs. They will not make you feel like you are asking for too much when you simply want respect, consistency, and effort. The right person will not make you doubt your place in their life. They will show up for you because they want to, not because you have to convince them to. The problem is many people are afraid of being alone, so they settle for less. They convince themselves that having a piece of someone is better than having nothing at all. They accept inconsistency, emotional unavailability, and half-hearted effort because they fear that if they let go, they will never find love again. But the truth is, being alone is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing is being in a relationship that makes you feel lonely. The worst thing is being with someone who makes you feel invisible, unimportant, and undeserving of real love. When you truly love yourself, you stop tolerating behavior that drains you. You stop waiting for someone to change. You stop settling for relationships that make you feel anxious instead of secure. You realize that love is not supposed to be a constant battle. It is not supposed to feel like you are always proving yourself. Real love is not about begging someone to see your worth. It is about being with someone who recognizes it without you having to convince them. If you find yourself constantly waiting for your partner to change, if you are always hoping that tomorrow will be better, if you are making excuses for their lack of effort, then you are holding on to something that is not meant for you. Love should not feel like a guessing game. It should not feel like a constant test. It should feel like peace. It should feel like home. If you do not feel secure, appreciated, and valued in your relationship, then you are in the wrong one. You deserve someone who does not make you question whether you are enough. You deserve someone who meets you halfway, who puts in the effort, who makes you feel loved without conditions. But most importantly, you deserve to love yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not align with your worth. The day you stop settling, the day you stop making excuses, the day you choose yourself is the day you open yourself up to the love you truly deserve. Never let fear keep you in a relationship that is breaking you. Never convince yourself that this is the best you can get. The right person will not make you suffer. They will not make you question your place in their life. They will not make you feel like you have to fight just to be acknowledged. The right person will choose you every day in every way without hesitation. Until you find that kind of love, do not settle for anything less. Love is one of the most beautiful and fulfilling experiences in life, but it can also become a source of pain when it is placed in the wrong hands. Many people grow up believing that love requires sacrifice, that it demands patience, endurance, and compromise. While there is truth to the idea that relationships require effort, there is a difference between working through challenges and losing yourself in the process. Love should never come at the cost of self-respect. The moment you have to beg for attention, tolerate repeated disrespect, or explain why basic decency matters, you are no longer in love. You are in an unhealthy situation that is slowly breaking you down. Respect is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Without it, love cannot thrive. If someone treats you like an option, speaks to you in a way that makes you feel small, or dismisses your feelings, they do not truly love you in the way that you deserve. Love does not mean justifying someone's hurtful actions. It does not mean waiting for them to change. It does not mean accepting less than what you give. If you constantly find yourself trying to prove your worth, trying to hold on to someone who keeps slipping away, or trying to convince yourself that their love is enough even when it feels hollow, then you are in the wrong relationship. True love does not make you question your worth. It does not leave you in a constant state of uncertainty. It does not have you overanalyzing every word, every silence, every action, trying to find proof that you still matter to them. When love is real, it is clear, it is consistent. It does not leave room for doubt because the right person will make sure you never have to question their intentions. They will show up for you not only when it is convenient, but because they genuinely want to. Too many people stay in relationships that drain them emotionally, mentally, and even physically because they fear that leaving means they have failed. They convince themselves that every relationship has struggles, that love is not always easy, and that if they just hold on a little longer, if they love a little harder, if they prove themselves a little more, then maybe things will change. But love is not meant to be a battlefield where one person is constantly fighting to be seen, to be heard, to be loved in the way they deserve. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. The way you allow others to treat you is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you do not value yourself, if you do not believe you are worthy of real love, then you will continue to settle for relationships that make you feel like you have to earn basic respect. Self-love is not just about self-care or feeling good about yourself on the surface. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to accept anything less than what you deserve. Loving yourself means setting boundaries. It means recognizing when someone is taking advantage of your kindness. It means walking away from situations that do not bring you peace, that make you feel like you are constantly chasing after someone's affection. Too many people mistake struggle for love. They think that suffering for someone, waiting for someone to see their value, proving their loyalty through hardship, will eventually be rewarded with the love they crave. But real love does not require you to suffer. It does not demand that you shrink yourself, that you give and give until there is nothing left of you. Real love meets you where you are. It does not make you feel like you have to chase it. If someone truly values you, they will never put you in a position where you have to beg for love. They will not ignore your needs. They will not make you feel like you are too much or that your expectations are unreasonable. The right person will not make you feel like you are difficult to love. They will not give you just enough to keep you around while withholding the emotional security that you need. If someone truly loves you, they will show up fully with no hesitation, with no mixed signals, with no excuses. The problem is many people are so afraid of being alone that they settle for less. They hold on to someone who does not truly see them because they believe that having a piece of someone is better than having no one at all. They convince themselves that love is about endurance, that if they just wait a little longer, if they are patient enough, then things will get better. But being alone is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing is being in a relationship where you feel lonely, where you feel unappreciated, where you feel invisible. The worst thing is giving your heart to someone who does not truly value it. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It takes courage to leave a relationship that no longer serves you. It takes strength to choose yourself when everything in you wants to hold on. But you deserve to be in a relationship where you feel safe, where you feel cherished, where you feel like you are enough just as you are. You deserve a love that does not make you question whether you are worthy. You deserve someone who sees your value without you having to prove it. The day you realize that self-love is the foundation of every other relationship in your life is the day you stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. When you truly love yourself, you do not tolerate inconsistent love. You do not chase after someone who makes you feel unworthy. You do not hold on to something that brings more pain than joy. You learn to walk away, not because you do not care, not because you have given up on love, but because you have finally realized that the right person will never make you feel like you have to fight for a place in their life. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much when you expect honesty, respect, and consistency. The right person will not make you feel guilty for wanting the bare minimum. They will not make you feel like love is something that you have to prove yourself worthy of. Love should be freely given, not something you have to beg for. The moment you stop looking for love in places that continue to break you is the moment you start finding the love that is meant for you. And when you finally realize that the most important love you will ever have is the love you give to yourself, you will never settle for anything less than what you truly deserve. Again, love is one of the most powerful emotions a person can experience, but it can also be one of the most destructive if placed in the wrong hands. Too many people believe that love means sacrificing everything, including their own self-respect. They convince themselves that if they endure the hardships, if they prove their loyalty, if they just hold on through the pain, eventually they will be rewarded with the love they deserve. But love should never come at the cost of self-respect. The moment you have to beg for basic decency, the moment you have to justify someone's hurtful actions, the moment you have to tolerate repeated disrespect, you are no longer in love. You are in a situation that is diminishing your worth. Respect is the foundation of any real relationship. Without it, love cannot thrive. If someone speaks to you in a way that makes you feel small, if they ignore your feelings, if they make you feel like your needs do not matter, then they do not love you in the way you deserve to be loved. Love does not mean accepting mistreatment. It does not mean waiting for someone to change. It does not mean tolerating pain in hopes of a better tomorrow. If someone truly loves you, they will never put you in a position where you have to sacrifice your dignity just to keep them in your life. True love does not make you question your worth. It does not leave you feeling uncertain, anxious, or unappreciated. It does not make you wonder where you stand or whether you are enough. When love is real, it is clear. It is consistent. It does not have you overanalyzing every message, every silence, every conversation, trying to decode hidden meanings. If someone truly values you, they will make sure you know. If they will not give you just enough to keep you around while withholding the emotional security that you need. Real love does not leave you waiting, hoping, or wondering if you matter. People often hold on to unhealthy relationships because they believe they can change the other person. They think that if they love them enough, if they are patient enough, if they endure enough, then eventually their partner will recognize their worth and treat them right. But you cannot make someone love you the way you deserve if they are not willing to. You cannot force someone to respect you, to prioritize you, to show up for you in the way that you need. If someone values you, you will know it. And if they do not, you will constantly feel like you have to prove yourself. If you do not love yourself, if you do not believe in your own worth, then you will continue to accept less than what you deserve. You will continue to tolerate behavior that you should have walked away from. You will continue to make excuses for someone who has already shown you that they do not truly care.